War has been a part of human history since time immemorial. Whether it's a conflict between two individuals, two groups, or two nations, war has always been a destructive force that leaves behind a trail of devastation and human suffering. However, throughout history, there have been attempts to limit the destructiveness of war, to establish rules of engagement, and to determine when war is justifiable. These attempts have given rise to what is known as the just war theory. The just war theory is a set of principles that determine when a war is morally justifiable. These principles have been developed over time by philosophers, theologians, and legal scholars. According to the just war theory, a war can be justifiable if it meets 6 conditions. The first condition is that a war must have a just cause. This means that the war must be fought for a legitimate reason, such as self-defense or the defense of innocent people. Wars fought for personal gain, revenge, or aggression are not considered justifiable. A just cause is one that is in accordance with international law and is widely recognized by the international community. Examples of just causes include defending against an invasion or stopping genocide. The second condition is that the war must be fought with the right intention. This means that the goal of the war must be to restore justice and peace, rather than to inflict harm or destruction. In other words, the war must be fought for the right reasons, not for the wrong ones. The intention behind the war must be to achieve a just outcome, rather than to advance a political or economic agenda. The third condition is that the war must be a last resort. This means that all other options for resolving the conflict, such as negotiations or diplomacy, must have been exhausted before resorting to war. War should never be the first option, but rather the last. The principles of last resort is important because it ensures that war is only used when there is no other way to achieve a just outcome. The fourth condition is that war must be proportionate. This means that the harm caused by the war must not be greater than the good that will come from it. In other words, the benefits of the war must outweigh the costs. This condition requires that the use of force is necessary but not excessive. It also means that the harm inflicted on civilians and non-combatants must be minimized. The fifth condition is that the war must be conducted with discrimination. This means that the war must be fought in a way that minimizes harm to civilians and non-combatants. Soldiers must avoid targeting civilians and must take steps to protect them from harm. Discrimination requires that combatants distinguish between legitimate targets and non-combatants. This principle is also known as the principle of non-combatant immunity. The sixth and final condition is that the war must be fought with a reasonable chance of success. This means that the war must be winnable, and that the benefits of victory must outweigh the costs of the war. The principle of reasonable chance of success requires that the military objectives of the war are achievable, and that the resources and capabilities of the military are adequate to achieve those objectives. It also means that the war must not be fought if the cost of victory are too high. While the just war theory is not perfect, it serves as a reminder that wars should only be waged when absolutely necessary, and that the human cost of war should never be taken lightly. As we continue to navigate the complexities of international conflict, let us always strive to uphold the principles of the just war theory and work towards a more peaceful and just world for all.